Welcome everyone. Today I am going to demonstrate Signalr Core 2.2.1 technology, which is in alpha release at the moment, but finally after long waiting it's getting launched. Let us see what are the minimum steps required to configure a Signalr Core application. I'll just show you a quick recap of what are the steps required, and then I will walk you through a hands-on practical demo. So the first thing we need to do is install NuGet packages. The next, we have to add some entries to the startup.cs file for configuring Signalr application to work. The third one is we have to update the power.json file for some client-side dependencies which are required for Signalr to work properly. The next is we have to add a hub class, which will be an extension of the standard hub, so that we can embed our customized functions and requirements into the application. And the last step we need is we have to create a client which will handle all the messages which server is getting broadcast. Now let us switch to a hands-on demo. Our project title here is broadcasting alerts of new connecting users to existing clients. Now let me switch to Visual Studio. I have Visual Studio 2017 Enterprise Edition in front of me. I'll just go to File menu, click New, Project, and from the templates I'm going to select ASP.NET Web Application with .NET Core. I'll just name my project Core Web App 5. You can give any name, but I have given Core Web Application 5. Now from the templates I am going to select Web Application, and authentication I will leave as it is for the sake of simplicity. Now Visual Studio will prepare the basic project for me, which will be based on core technology, and now I have to do the necessary setups. For any Signalr application to work, we have to do a couple of settings in the project, out of which the first one is I need to install a NuGet package for the Signalr. So as we have seen in our presentation, these 5 are the mandatory steps which are required for any Signalr core application to work properly. Means this is the minimal possible setup which we need to do before embedding our customized functionality. This is the mandatory settings which Signalr application needs to be configured with. So I am going to do these activities now. The first thing is install NuGet package. So to install a NuGet package, I will go to Tools, then select NuGet Package Manager and go to NuGet Package Manager console. I'll write here install package gray.microsoft.ASPNET Core .signalr .server space -pre and say enter. Now Visual Studio is preparing our project with all the necessary references and DLLs addition. So we have done the first step, as we have seen here, install NuGet package. NuGet package is installed now. The next one is update startup.cs for configuring Signalr. So in the startup.cs we need to add these two things. In the configure services method we have to add services.add_mvc, and in the configure method we have to add this line app.use Signalr. So to do that I'm switching back to Visual Studio. In the startup.cs here I will add Signalr, and in the configure I will add an entry app.use Signalr. So these two lines needs to be inserted in the startup.cs for the Signalr app to work, which I have done already. The next thing is we need to update bower.json for client side dependencies, because if at this moment of time I will see in the libraries I can't see any entry for Signalr. So to have that, what I need to do, I have to go to bower.json, and over here I will add one more line, Signalr colon 2.2.1. Yes, I'll save it. Now I will build the solution. And now I can see that the Signalr client side dependencies has been added to the project. Now the next is hub and client, means server, customized server and clients needs to be added. But before that I just want to check that till now whatever we have configured, either it's working or no. So I'll just simply run the project. Once the project is started, I'll type here Signalr /hubs and say enter. So I can see on screen that some text file input is coming by browsing this specified URL, which means that our proxy file is getting generated properly, which is a signal for us that Signalr is configured properly. Now the next target is that we need our customized functions to the extension of hub and as well as client, so that we can achieve our desired results from this Signalr platform. So to do that, as I said, now the configuration is completed. So to have the customized functionality I need to add one hub. I'll introduce a new folder. I'll call this folder hubs, and I will simply add one hub class to it. I will name it as myhub.cs. Now this is a simple class I have added, but what I will do, I will extend it from the hub class. I need to reference Microsoft.ASPNET Core Signalr so that the hub class will be identified by the Visual Studio. So now this class, which I called it as my hub, is extended the Signalr standard hub class, which means that this my hub will have all the properties from the hub class, and I can add my extended functionalities as per my requirement. Now what I'm going to do, I'll just create one method here I call this method as my server function. You can give it any name, but in my case I have given my server function. And in this function I can do all my coding and manipulation which I need as per my project. But in this project I am interested to have such a server in which whenever any new client is getting connected, the responsibility of the server will be to notify the others that a new connection got arrived, and also the server has to inform them that the new connected client has this connection ID. So to achieve that, what I'm going to do, I'll say clients. Now this client's property is inherited in my hub from the standard hub which I already extended. Clients dot, I can say all or others or whichever clients I am interested in, but at this moment of time I will say all. Clients dot all dot. Now after this I can write any name which I want the function to be available at the client side as well. So in this case I will just simply name it as client listener. And to this message I am going to pass here I want from the context object the connection ID, which means that in this context the currently connected connection ID will be available in this given property. Whenever we say context.connection ID, so I am going to get the currently connected client connection ID. Now what I have done, I have said that the client listener should be available at my client, which is communicating to this my server function, and I said to all the clients I am going to call the client listener method of the clients, and I am sending this given text to all those clients. Now this client listener must be available at the client end, which we will shortly be creating, but for now you just need to understand that these two are the standard properties of hub class, and this one we can give any name, but that must be exist in our client. So now this simplest possible hub I have created in which I introduced my server function. Now let us go to the client side and let's utilize this function or call this function from our client. So to create a client, what I am going to do, I will just use the existing views. I switch to index.cshtml. I'll simply delete these devs because I don't need that. I'll create here a span element with ID message display. Now this span element I have created for the reason so that whatever I will receive from the server side I can display within this span. Now for this client to be able or be eligible for the communication with the server, we need to import some JavaScript files, which includes, I will simply create a script tag. In this script tag I will be writing my JavaScript, but before that I need to reference three main references of JavaScript files, which I can find in the www root. Within the libraries folder I have jQuery folder, so in the distribution I have jquery.min.js. So the first reference I need to add is this file. The next one is from the Signalr, and the third one should contain the reference towards the auto-generated proxy. Simply Signalr/hubs. Now after referencing these three files, I am in a position to communicate with the server. Now to have that connection, what I need to do, I will create a variable. I will call it my hub proxy, and in the above reference file I have a connection object. In the connection object I have hub, and within the hub I have create hub proxy method, to which I need to pass the name of my customized hub. In my case, if you will see here, I have given the name to my hub as my hub. So I'll simply write my hub here. This line is going to give me a proxy for my hub. Now the next thing is that I will try to utilize the same connection object .hub.start. Now this line, what it will do, it will start the hub, and once it's done, it's going to call this callback function. Means whenever the hub is getting started, so right after starting, it's going to call this function, and from this function I'm just simply saying alert hub started, just to assure that whatever we have done till now is okay or no. I'm going to run this one. Have started. Okay, so it means that till now things are working fine. Let's proceed onward. I'll simply remove that, and the next thing I am going to embed is I have to create my hub proxy.on. Here I am going to specify the name of the function which my server has utilized. So here, as I said earlier, this client listener can be anything, but in our case we labeled it as client listener. So I just need to copy that text and paste it here, in which we are telling that whenever this function is called from the server side, we have to call this function, and if server is passing any message, we are going to receive it here. Here, with the help of the jQuery, what I am going to do, I'll try to find our span element, which is message display dot text msg. Mean to say, whenever the client listener is called from the server and server is sending some message, that message is going to be received in this msg variable, and we are simply trying to find out the span with the help of jQuery. and then simply setting the text property for that. Now the next thing is that how client is going to call the server end. So for that, what we will be doing, I'll simply say my hub proxy dot invoke, and here I am going to specify the name of our this function. Now let us run and see what's happening. Yes, welcome, and your connection ID is this. It means that system is working properly, but the text is very less font size, so let me increase it a bit. To do that, I'll simply wrap this span element in h4 tag. We can see now, as soon as the new client is getting connected, so all of the browsers are getting notified with the connection ID recent update. But maybe most of the time we don't want the others to be overridden, so I'll do some small changes in the project. The first thing, I'm going to change it, instead of text I will use append property, so that the old data will also be existing. Now let us see. Yes, so now I'm simply duplicating it. And we can see that now at this browser I can see two client IDs connected, whereas in this one there is one. So now if I will duplicate this again, this should become 2 and this should become 3. So let us see that. Yes. Now I will do a bit more changes. What I'm going to do, I will go to hub, and here right after this line I will introduce one more line in which I will say clients dot, instead of all, this time I'm saying others. The only thing I change is others, and here I'm deleting this text and I'll simply say newly connected, or maybe newly joined, from which I mean to say that the newly connected client will himself not have this message, but the existing clients will be notified with this additional message as well. Now I will duplicate this and see now the existing browser is getting the newly joined message for this 2 to 4. If I will reduplicate this, I can see that the newly joined message is not available here, but this one and the below this one, both of them is receiving this message. So mean to say, the others is notifying only the clients apart from the currently running client, means the old connected clients only. Thanks. Now I'll give you a quick recap of what we have seen and what are the mandatory things we have done. We have installed NuGet package, and the purpose was to add server-side dependencies and all DLL references. The syntax you can see on the screen. And the next was we updated the startup.cs for configuring Signalr. The purpose was to wire up Signalr with your own application, and the syntax also we can see on screen. So furthermore, we have updated our bower.json. The purpose was to install the client-side libraries like jQuery.signalr.js, etc. And the syntax you can see on screen. The next thing we have done is we have added our hub class, which was an extension of standard hub. This was intended to allow customized functions to hub. And the last thing we have done is we have added a client-side function to handle all the server messages. The purpose was to allow control on the client functions. So this was all. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe us for further tutorials. Thank you.